Record to the computer. All right, should be recording.
All right. Yep, I see it.
All righty.
All right.
Okay, so here we are. It's Janelle and Shireen show. Welcome back.
I like it.
Installment number 2.
Installment number 2.
Where we hang out and chat about whatever comes to our mind. So anyway, since we're just going to start recording, I'll just start off with what I was just talking with Janelle about. I was talking about my legs were aching so bad, and I think it's a little overdoing it in my life the last 24 hours, and sometimes you just got to really make sure you're listening to your body, because I pushed through a workout, but I modified today more so than I probably normally would. And then I know that I need more sleep. I need to go to bed a little earlier tonight because I can already feel it. Like I feel a little tired. So how important that rest, recovery, and sleep is when you're really going hard in a program, and I think the thing for me for following Shift Shop is, like I think I said in the last call, like I'm trying to follow it so to the T so that I don't skip days, so that I don't skip the nutrition. And it's very hard. Like for me, I'm in that plan A. I think you are too, Janelle, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that for me, 5 proteins and 5 vegetables, I'm not going to lie. Like that is hard for me.
Yeah.
It's hard. So maybe, Janelle, maybe you can talk about what you're trying to do. I don't even know if I've gotten all 5 in every day. I'm trying.
Yeah. I typically, because I'm doing the recover, I'm putting a scoop, actually just kind of half because I do it late, scoop of vegan vanilla in with my recover at night. And then I put another vegetable in there. So I put like kale or spinach in there just to get it in. But I, the same as Shreen, am following the nutrition on this one. And I really have seen a big difference. The first week I was just kind of like doing how I normally do programs. Working out is never the issue for me. It's always food. And both Shreen and I talked about in our last show, we talked we talked about how in the beginning when we were first, getting to a place of maintenance, when we were starting out, we used a portion control system and it really worked for us. So we know going back that always works. And so but once we kind of got to a point where we were maintaining, we intuitively eat. We know about how many servings of protein we need a day, and we can kind of fit it in. But for this one, it was a new one. It was intense. I mean, the way it ramped up, we both chose to do it according to the plan. Especially when new programs come out, we like to try to do that, at least for the first round, and just to get the best results. So what I've been doing is trying to follow exactly what it has on there, the actual meal plan, instead of trying to put my own together and picking foods off of there. I'm going off of their recommended list. And if there's something like I can't eat shrimp, so I'll do tuna or I'll do chicken, I typically fall back to those two. And so that has been helpful for me. And for me as well, I don't like to cook. And I don't like old food. So what helps me is just having pre-cut vegetables, bagged salads, packets of tuna. I can do chicken breasts next day. I can't do bone-in chicken next day because I feel like I can taste the bone. And so little things like that. Or I'll get up in the morning. So I'll scramble my 2 eggs in the morning with my spinach and cheese and let it cool a little bit. And then I'll put it in a container and I can carry that to work with me with my packet of Shakeology and a fruit. So just having this stuff on hand is huge. So if you haven't grocery shopped, that is huge, because then you tend to just grab the bag of chips that your kids have or eat the leftover potato that they didn't eat. So if you're really just staying laser focused on it, today I caught myself because I worked from home today and I was like, I want something like I guess this is about to be Shark Week because I'm like chocolate, and I had some chocolate, little dark chocolate chip morsels that I mixed with some almonds and coconut, some unsweetened coconut, because I was like, I need something sweet. And then I wanted some carbs, and like I want carbs, and then I was like, okay, just drink some water. So always, and I put some lemon in my water and drank a big thing of water. And then I just went ahead and ate some. I didn't get enough protein earlier, so I just had some tuna that I had left over from yesterday. So being smart about what you have on hand in the house is really important if you want to stay on track. And taking a step back when because I feel hormonal. I know what it is. It's the reason I'm craving these things. And I did cave a little bit, but I'm not going to go completely off plan. And I'm okay with, if I probably will eat some more dark chocolate chips before the night's over. And as long as I'm getting my other stuff in, I'm okay with that. So just don't beat yourself up about it. If you go off, keep your pantry stocked. Make sure you have food with you wherever you go. At least a packet of Shakeology or something easy that you can grab. I always keep almonds up. I think Friday I was going through my purse. We took the girls to the movies for their last day of summer, and I was like digging my purse. I had an apple in my purse. I had a packet of peanut butter. I had 2 packets of Shakeology. I had an RX bar. I had some almonds, and I was like, oh, like so. And in the movie theater, I brought my big thing of water. And when we went to lunch, I had a salad and with avocado, and so you can still do things. You just have to make better decisions, and especially if you're making this a lifestyle. If it's in the beginning and it's hard, understand that it's hard for everybody. You're not, this is not abnormal. And we all struggle with it. Even a year in of doing this consistently, I still am like, I really want the chips and the burger, but I'm going to have the salad. And it was totally fine. So think about the instant gratification, instant gratification gives you instant results, or whatever that whole saying is. But if you eat the burger now, yeah, it tastes good now, but what are the results hours later? I'm going to be like, oh, so heavy. Was it really worth it? No. And will a burger make you gain 10 pounds? No. But if I do the burger every single time I go out, that is the compound effect of our dietary choices that cause us to be in a situation where we are unhappy with where we are. So think about that every time you make a choice. It tastes good. All the bad stuff for us tastes good, but if you can start to change your palate and make good decisions, then eventually they'll become a little bit easier and it'll be a lot more manageable. That was a long rant.
And I think to kind of piggyback what you're saying too, like that whole, like the Shark Week thing, that the ladies in the group, if you watch this back, you hopefully by now know what Shark Week is. I really find like last week, that was for me, that was the same thing. And it's like sweet and salty. Those are the things that I crave terribly. And so I think what happens, I think for me at least sometimes, is like, right now, I feel like I'm on a pretty good stretch. I think I grabbed like a marshmallow or 2. I think I put it on my Instagram story. I've just been trying to, chronicle, and I like took a picture of the marshmallow and I said, I'm caving. Because they're like, you know what? It was like a marshmallow or 2, and I was going to be able to be like, just satisfy that craving and get on. And in my head, I kept telling myself, Shaun T has always said, you cheat. You treat yourself, not cheat yourself. And if you really want something bad, like allow yourself to have a little bit of it and taste it, because otherwise if you keep yourself from it and then you like go like hog wild, because then you're like overeating the bad stuff. And then I think that's what happens for me sometimes. Like this 3 weeks, I kind of want to try really hard to try to do it again in the next group starting Monday, which I don't really know. Even the very, very, very first time I did 21 day fix, I think even the second round, I kind of did it a much looser. So this might be the first time, but I was seeing results today in my like first week and my third week looking at my pictures. And granted, there was a Shark Week in the middle. Thank goodness it wasn't. I'm not ending on Shark Week because I'd have been so devastated to see those as my after pictures. But like that idea of like, if you think you get to the end and then you're like, oh my God, thank God I can eat all the bag of chips. Like what? The idea of having a couple chips, maybe, but like I almost feel like the salt factor might make me pucker because I've been off from it. And so it's a good thing in that regard, because it is changing your palate, like you were saying, and just allowing yourself a little bit. And like since we last talked too, I had anniversary dinner, and I was like, I've been so good. I'm not going to restrict myself and be like crazy about going out and like looking through the menu, and I'm not going to not enjoy anniversary dinner. So I just picked some things I enjoyed. I had a dessert, I had a piece of cheesecake, and then I got up the next day and moved on with my life and tried to stay on. The problem is sometimes we just like, we think the challenge ends, and then we like think we can go back to eating the way we did. And that's what hopefully we can continue with the next group is trying to hold everybody, whatever nutrition plan you decide to follow, try to stay on track and on point as much as possible, and do that 80-20. I kind of want to go 90-10 instead of maybe going 100 on the nutrition. I think I might try like a day or two because summer is almost over for us here in the Northeast. We're not done yet, but like the kids are all at ice cream. They'll probably walk in while we're talking, but they're all went to get ice cream. And I was like, I have a call, so it's okay because I don't feel like I'm missing out. I didn't feel like I deprived myself. I was busy. I kept myself busy here on this call. But also I'm saving money by not eating all the ice cream trips this last because we live 5 minutes from an ice cream stand.
And even with, like you said, with the money part, people are I had a post up that I saw on something that said, something about investing in your health. And, when we start off and we're all gung-ho about this, Shireen and I have both been drinking Shakeology for extended periods of time. And in the beginning, you're like, oh my God, I can't afford $100 a month. And as many packages that come to my door, I can afford $120 a month. Whether you have to shift your perspective because we're so quick to, pay $5 for I hate the latte factor because I've spent $30,000 at literally like $30,000 over the course of 16 years at Starbucks. I calculated it. And so for me to say that I can't afford it, and I know everybody's financial position is different, but if you look at it as truly like, what are you like evaluate your expenses and really look at what you're spending a day, because you might not think that you can afford it, but truly, if you're going to Chick-fil-A 3 times a week, if you're grabbing a muffin, once a week, if you are like, just tally all those, like literally look at your bank account on your phone because everybody has a mobile app and look at all the restaurants. I still do that today. And I'm like, it makes me nauseous because we're relatively healthy because both Joe's a gym rat and I'm a home gym rat. But we still eat out. We spend, enormous amounts of money at Chipotle every month, at Chick-fil-A. So Chipotle and Chick-fil-A, if I add up how much ice cream, if I add up how much we spend on ice cream or Chipotle and Chick-fil-A every month, I mean, or even in a week we probably spend eating out, I don't know, over $100, probably $150, close to $200 a week eating out. That's not counting our groceries. So take a step back and look at it, evaluate your budget, and you can afford to invest in yourself. This is something that's whole, good nutrition for your body. And if you have to move some stuff around, then do that. And think of it as you're paying for one meal or snack, whatever you use it as, for the entire month. And don't think of it as $4 a day, not $110 a month or whatever it is. So as you end this week of this program and you're coming on your reorder, think about that and don't skimp yourself on it. And we only say that because we know what it does. I have been working out kind of consistently for years and have never gotten the results. I know that it's the combination of the accountability, the nutrition, and the shakes. I mean, that it's like the dynamic trio. I wanted to say duo, but so really just evaluate that as you come up on your third week. If you ordered initially, if you're a first time about to auto ship, just look at that and really evaluate. If you're thinking about, oh, maybe I can't afford this, I'll just go drink, the $20 shake at GNC. It doesn't have the same quality. You have to think about the quality of things that you're putting into your body because it makes a difference. We don't have our soil is so depleted in the United States. You can't get good quality ingredients that they use inside of our shakes. That's why it costs so much, because it is high quality, and you just have to invest in yourself and really think about what you're going to spend it either on the front end or the back end going to the doctor. So I always like to look at it that way.
Well, and I think too, like for people that are new to the shake, maybe over this challenge, if there are people, like evaluate where it was in your day and like what it replaced. Did it replace something in your life already? Like instead of cereal or toast or, something like that? Did it replace that? Because it's probably a way better nutritious option for you to have for your breakfast. Did it replace a lunch? And if you have like a day job or 9 to 5, especially, like how many times, I see people all the time where we live, like they do like, the office lunch, everybody orders out. I mean, when I used to work, I got it when I was out of college early, right, in May. And I would go back home and work in the office at the YMCA 20 years ago. And we would always like all get together and like order Chinese, or we would all and you'd order and someone go pick it up. Or sometimes everybody in the office goes and meets, because it's like novelty. Well, after a while, actually, the novelty rubs off. It's just that it was easy. You didn't have to pack something. You didn't have to bring something. And then how much are you spending on that? And really, what are you eating over time? And I can't even tell you the rut I got myself into. I was never even a coffee drinker. I have a friend of mine who kind of got me onto like a caramel latte, and then I went to Dunkin' caramel coffee because it was cheaper, and then I kind of got hooked on it, and then I made it part of my routine when I used to work at a preschool in the morning, and I would drop my kids at school, and it's all the compound effect. It's all building habit, and this is last time I talked about you can build them in the bad way, and this is one. I would take my kids to school, I would go through Dunkin' Donuts, grab the coffee, and then I would go to preschool. And I was like, it's only one day a week. Well, then I was working 2 days a week. So then I would do it twice a week. And then I was like talking myself into, on the days I didn't have to go to pre-K and I could just drop the kids off and go home. Well, I'll just grab one on the way home. I mean, I kid you not, it was like a Dunkin' stop 3 to 4 mornings. And then we were buying the Dunkin' Creamer. Before I bought 21 Day Fix, 2.5 years ago, we were buying the Dunkin' Creamer here. That's what we used in our coffee every day. I mean, I've told countless stories, like, to people that I know and on my social media. Like, I was the person who had Cheerios and Rice Krispies and dumped sugar on it. Like, that's how I ate. And I think about what all that sugar was probably doing inside my body and how long it could possibly take me to try to reverse anything, because sugar's bad. And I have a little bit of a sugar addiction. So I'm always fighting that. It doesn't matter what you look like on the outside. It's what it's doing on the inside and how your systems are functioning. So like, I always think of it in that regard. Like, if I could talk myself into driving through Dunkin' Donuts 4 days a week, I can do Shakeology.
Yeah. And like I said on the Starbucks, so we have Shireen and I don't know that we knew this about each other, but we both had similar habits with the coffee. I had the Starbucks was a tall caramel frappuccino, double blended with caramel inside the cup and on top. And I used to get a grande, but I would go twice a day. I would go because my commute is an hour and a half to 2 hours. So I would go on the way to work, and then I would come on the way back. And then we had our new building had a Starbucks in it. So I would just go downstairs. And so those habits of, if I said I didn't have it, I was spending $100 at Starbucks a week. So I really did have it. And then on the other side, on the food side, just this last 2 weeks or week and a half that I've been meal prepping and bringing my stuff to work. One day last week, I forgot my chicken. I had 2 portions of chicken and I left one. I had one on like Tuesday or whatever day it was one day, and I was supposed to save the other half for the next day. Well, I forgot it in my cooler overnight outside of the fridge, and so it went bad. So the next day I was like, I can't bring that. Anyway, long story short, the next day I was like, okay, I'll just go get a piece of salmon to put with my salad that I had brought. It was $5.62 for a piece of salmon, and I was like, I am not paying. But prior to this, I would spend $15 on lunch downstairs in our cafe, because we have like a 5-star, like all these different areas that you can go to. Like you can get steak and lobster, like all these different things in our building. And I wouldn't think twice about it. I'd get my salad. It would be, $7 because they weigh it and I put all the stuff on it. You get, you add a piece of protein and that's another $3, $4, $5. And I wouldn't think twice about it. But now I'm like, now that I've been bringing my food and saving that money, I'm like, oh, I was spending a lot of money. So just evaluate what you're spending.
Yeah, and I think that's like the key thing too, is just like look at what you were doing.
Yeah.
Or if you're new to this whole thing, like just look at what you were doing, look at this, and then see how you feel too. Like hopefully people are feeling a little bit better. I know I've seen a couple people in the group that are like having lots of energy, like hanging off the wall energy, happy, joyful energy, because you're taking the time for you to do that workout, which is a good thing. Like mentally, like I don't have to think about anything else except for that workout for that amount of time. And then just fueling your body with the right stuff and helping it perform better. And you think about it, like it's 3 weeks and it felt like, oh, I can do this. It's 21 days. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, just a few more days and I can have could treat myself like a little reward. But I found myself this week, but like, I think I want to do this for another 3 weeks. And I didn't even think I would feel like that. And I share that only because I don't want people that aren't coaches in the group to, think like, because you're already a Beachbody coach, like you probably have this all figured out. This is what you do. Like, no, that's why I share like the coffee vices and all the sweet vices. And, it's like normal life. And it's just trying to find that balance and fight through the little urges and cravings, like and not overdo, and then testing out how you feel if you're going to have something. Like, how does it make you feel? Like, oh, how did that sit on your stomach? How'd your body digest it? I just want to share that because like I don't want people to think that we have it all figured out. We may know the equation, like the equation too. Anyone watching this, like but we're just like anybody else.
Yep. Knowing and doing are two different things. It's very simple the plan is very simple, but it's not easy to follow, I guess. Absolutely. How it goes. It's not easy. It's very simple. Anybody can do it, but it does take commitment and it takes a little bit. I mean, I'm not the meal prepper queen of the year. And I just like to put that out there because people are like, I don't have time to cook. I don't want to cook, whatever. Like literally, one morning I was showing my meal prep. It was like this. Like, okay, I have some apples, I have carrots, I didn't have to cook anything. And yesterday, I think I posted everything that I had up until my night meal. I didn't cook any of that. It was the yogurt and berries, and then I had the tuna and salad, and then I had cucumbers and kiwi and peanut butter or almond butter. None of that was cooked. So I didn't cook any of that. The only thing that I cooked was my chicken, and I literally cut it with my kitchen shears, stuck it in the air fryer, sprayed some coconut oil, and toasted it in that little air fryer thing. And that was it. And I did a spaghetti squash in the air fryer too. And literally it was super duper simple. So you don't have to have like these gourmet complicated meals. We are literally cutting. If I'm cutting something, that's even stretching. I'm like, they don't have cut cucumbers because I haven't found cut cucumbers. I'm like, oh my God, I have to cut the cucumber. Like really? So don't get discouraged if this is your first round and you are just figuring it out. That's exactly what we all do. You have to figure it out, find what works for you, and tailor it to your life. I know that we all have different schedules. Some of us stay at home and work from home. Some of us are out of the home. Some of us, have demanding jobs that require us, that you don't really have any time. So for those of you that don't have time, then if you can get up 10 minutes earlier just to grab your stuff or prep it at night and put it in a bag to take with you, at least be prepared because that sets you up for success. And just stick with it. I mean, it's 30 minutes. Well, now it's 45 minutes. So this week it's 45 minutes. So that is challenging. I think this is the longest workout that I've done ever since because everything else has been 30 minutes, I think max, maybe 32 minutes on Core to Force when I did that is long. So 45 for me, I'm like, really, by the time I get down to 20 and we're halfway through, I'm like, oh my God, we still have 20 minutes.
You've been you've been so spoiled because I started out with old school Insanity and I beat P90X and like those are long. I never finished
either of those. Those were long too, weren't they?
Yoga was 90 minutes.
Yeah. See, I couldn't.
Yoga?
Yeah.
That was like 2
I
days.
keep saying that I was gonna try it. I was gonna do old school Insanity P90X because that was one, and Insanity. I've now finished T25, but those were the 3 programs that the original ones that I started with and never finished before coaching. So that's a fun project for me down the line. But I'm like, who has time to do a 90-minute workout? Not Ty.
No.
We all have the time really, but I don't. I choose not to get up another hour earlier to do it.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah.
The thing with the shorter workouts though, like this, is that they've found a way, even with 45 minutes being like the most, and I think there's a 50 on on the second calendar if you decide to follow the second. I mean, you could totally, anyone that's watching, do round one and just do that one again. You don't have to do the round two calendar. But like, I think they found a way to like just jam pack and just make your body work harder in a shorter amount of time, which is so interesting. It's just another way of.
And it's so effective.
Mm-hmm.
So hang in there, you guys. I mean, we have both experienced, Sharina and I both come from dancing and cheering background. So we've had, you know, well, I don't know about you, but we did work out when we were dancing and cheering. I don't say work out like that, but we had to work out. And so I've been an athlete. I played soccer, but then that period of time where you have to adult for a while and you don't get to do those fun things and work out and stuff like that, then your body gets, you know, then you have kids and your body's kind of out of whack. And then you start trying to figure out what works for your body. And so I was a runner for a little while. I was in and out of the gym. I bought plans on Instagram and, you know, like all these Instagram models. I'm like, oh yeah, I'll do her booty plan. None of it ever worked. Like this right here is like my jam because it's got everything, like she said, they jam packed everything in there. If you follow the calendar, this is what I tell people, like you have to do it from start to finish. Like even if you just kind of show up every day, it's still going to do something. But if you just bounce around and you do T25 today and tomorrow you're going to do 21 day fix, that's fine. You're moving your body. That's okay to keep from getting bored. But if you're looking for maximum results, our recommendation is to follow a calendar from start to finish and do the meal plan to your best ability. That's how you get the results. That's how these programs are built to give you maximum results. So if you aren't there yet and you're like, oh, I'm just kind of, you know, if you're slowly getting into it, because that's the other thing. You don't want your transformation to be a 3-week transformation and then you're done, right? Because then you bounce back and you go back to that and you're like, oh, that didn't work. Oh, yeah, it did work. You just didn't work it, right? So if you want long-term success, then just do it slowly. I mean, take it as a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle. We show up, we press play every single day, maybe 6 days a week, whatever, and we just follow a calendar and you just rinse and repeat. And that's how we get to where we're maintaining. And then we want to tighten, you know, we get a little lax and then we tighten back up and we try to follow the plan and then we go, we do, and it's a cycle and you have to be okay with it be okay with the journey because and enjoy this part, enjoy where your body is taking you and appreciate. I mean, I remember when I started feeling my belly jiggle and now I look at that's the reason that a lot of us record ourselves because we like to see the progression of where we started. So I started in August of last year and I'm looking at videos from August of last year. And when I was doing jumping jacks, and I can remember in my head, like my stomach jiggling and feeling that and being so uncomfortable with that. Now I'm looking at me jumping up and my shirt coming up. And I'm like, oh, whose stomach? You know, I might not have a 6-pack, but I'm like, okay, I can see that it works. It's working and I'm showing up every day and the results are coming. And they will come if you keep showing up and putting the work in. So you're doing an amazing job. Keep it up. Keep showing up. These groups work because of the accountability. When I get up every day, I look on there on the My Challenge Tracker app and I'm like, oh my gosh, how have 15 people already done their workout? And I'm like, okay.
And I say that we're on the East Coast. If I see any of the West Coasters over there already have worked out, like sometimes even gets hers in, and I'm like seriously, like how are they doing that? Like 4 a.m. Now I know they're, you know, going to work, but like that's dedication. Is because people are making it part of like just like get up and take a shower and brush your teeth and use the bathroom and eat breakfast. It's just part of your routine and it does take time to get there, but like that's what it is for me now. Like it wasn't before, and I can attest to being that on again off again person who like went to the gym sometimes or did a program and then didn't do anything for 3 months, and then I bought another program and then I didn't do anything for months, you know, like continue because that's when you're going to see the change.
And don't look at the shiny objects. Oh my gosh, that program says it'll give me results in 2 days. You'll look the same after those 2 days go away. So there's always going to be something, you know, out there that's shiny and new. But just trust the process and figure out what works for you. And don't be afraid if a program, like you really don't like a program and you keep hurting yourself or something like that. Don't be afraid to change programs. You're not married to these programs where you're like, we're going to be like, why did you stop doing it? As long as you pick something else back up, if you're like, okay, I really don't like that, I can't get it. Some people don't like connect with trainers. Like some people don't like Siggy.
Oh,
They're like, I can't do him, so they just don't do his workouts. Or mute the TV. If you don't like the person's like personality or voice, mute the TV. If you physically can't handle a program, change. There are hundreds of programs in there, but our advice is just to follow the calendar that comes with that program. Don't dabble in it to get the best results and to get to the point where you're still going through your transformation. Pick a program, do it from start to finish, and try to follow the nutrition is all we're saying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
I think
we've gone over. Hopefully maybe in the next group we can try to set up a couple of calls too. I know I've got like almost 20 people
awesome.
that are ready to jump in next week and join us with doing some kind of program. It may not be shift. I've got a couple shift shoppers so we'll have lots of people doing lots of different things. So that'll be kind of fun to see what programs people are doing too, because they can share the things that they're liking about the programs, because that's another way to kind of learn about a program you've never done is in these groups too, when we have like a mixed group like this, because if you've never done Turbo Fire and I know I've got a couple people who love Turbo Fire. I don't love Turbo Fire. I love Chalene. I don't love Turbo Fire, although I'm also always up for a challenge. So sometimes I'm like, I should just do it because I don't like it.
How long are those workouts?
I only have done, I did one, and then I did in between Sean Week and this one, I just did whatever her longest hit one was. It might have been a 30, because the hit ones aren't all very long, because they're just
right.
So
I think I've done one or two in between a program too. That's the other thing, you guys. This group that we're doing is we're going right into another challenge group. But many times, if you guys are with us for a while, whoever your coach is, typically we'll have a week or maybe two sometimes in between programs if we're waiting for something to launch or whatever. So we might have like a little dull space in between an actual challenge group. And so we'll try. That's a good time to try out different things. And, maybe if you guys haven't looked at the on-demand menu, there's something called the challenge du jour, and that's a workout of the day. And so if you're not following a particular calendar, that's a good way to taste a lot of different workouts for the week. And they give you, I think they kind of format them to cover all of your body parts through that week. So that's a good suggestion there. So.
And the other thing too is to not forget, if you want to sample something, once you go into a program that has a live formatted class that you can take too, like if you go to P90X or Size or something, scroll all the way down, because you can take a class that would normally be given in a gym, and you can take those master trainer classes. So those of you that know that we're all under Tanya Barron, and she's a Size live instructor, there's her teaching Size like it was a Size class, so not just the Shaun T ones. P90X has that, and PiYo, there's a few of them. So that's always another thing to kind of, or if you want to supplement, sometimes some people like a double. Mm-hmm. If you just want to knock yourself out, just try one of those short classes too. So. All right, that pretty much does it. So I'll end the recording, we'll end the call, I'll get this posted, and hopefully some people will be able to watch this, and we'll see you guys in the next group too.
Yeah, thanks, Doreen.
Yep, have a good night. Bye.
You too.